God, that's stupid. Hey guys, welcome to Rumble Book Club. I'm your host, Michael Hernandez, and this is the show where a semi-normal guy like me can talk about interesting books I've read, old and new, good and bad. So if you like the books we're talking about, if you like the videos I'm doing, go ahead and follow me, rumble the videos, and more importantly, share them, talk about them. Let me know if there's any books you want me to include on the show, and I'll be happy to talk about them too. Before we get started, I want to talk about our charity focus, and that is the Texas Pregnancy Care Network. So women across the country are too often subjected to the journey of motherhood alone. In many cases, especially the first time, they can be scared and need help and be being pushed into making a decision that will, end their chance of being a mother. So Texas Pregnancy Care Network has made it their mission to provide counsel, support, and opportunity for mothers who are alone and in desperate need. So from physical requirements like diapers, clothes, and temporary shelter to mental emotional needs like career education counseling and classes, TPCN is giving mothers and children all over Texas a chance to experience God's gift of a family. Now, if you do want to give to this organization, if you do want to help mothers in need, you can contact them at 877-345-7734. That's 877-345-7734. Or you can go to their website at texaspregnancy.org. That's texaspregnancy.org. All right, so today, if you were wondering about that completely weird and definitely cringeworthy intro, that's because today we're going to be taking a look at a book that absolutely sent goosebumps down my spine when I read it. The book we're going to be taking a look at today, with the summer coming right around the corner, is Close to Shore by Michael Capuzzo. Capuzzo? I think it's Capuzzo. Anyway, probably sounds Italian. But anyway, so this details the terrifying summer of 1916 that became the inspiration for the book Jaws by Peter Benchley, and subsequently the movie by Steven Spielberg, which obviously became a blockbuster hit. The book was also a bestseller. So now let's get into our 3-point discussion over the book. Now, the aesthetics. As you can see, it's a little bit cheesy. You could tell they took an old photograph, a vintage photograph of the New Jersey shore, and then superimposed a little shark fin in there. But the color scheme is relatively simple. There's nothing that's overly bright. It's a good size and a good feel for the page count and the gold trim around the edges. I think that ties it up really nicely. It gives it kind of a semi-formal look. I actually really like that. So despite the fact that the cover is cheesy, I'll still rate it relatively strong at a 7 out of 10 on the aesthetics. Now, looking at the readability, the language is kept simple. It's not too academic, but it still teaches you a lot about marine biology, about statistics of attacks on humans, and it's able to break up the paragraphs and the chapters pretty easy. It kind of breaks the book up into segments and then chapters, and then they're not seeing big walls of text. You're seeing cream pages with very clear font. That's always a plus for me. So as far as readability, I can't find a single thing wrong with it. I think it's a 10 out of 10. Looking at the content is riveting, absolutely riveting. This book literally made me shudder when I read it. So again, it's about the 1916 New Jersey shark attacks. So what happened was a rogue great white shark, very similar to the story Jaws. Like I said, it's the inspiration. It essentially just cruised the Jersey shore for weeks, attacking people. As you read, Capuzzo really takes you into the water with the people who are being attacked and with the shark itself. He kind of discusses both sides of that equation, and you kind of learn about the shark's patterns and the people's behavior, and also the novelty of what these people must have been experiencing. This was the first real modern event of a numerous amount of shark attacks in a short period of time. So people were losing their minds in panic, and it led to one of the biggest manhunts, or one of the biggest hunts for a single animal in history. I mean, there were thousands of boats patrolling the waters trying to find this thing. So there's one part of this book that really stuck out to me, that really just drove it home, that, like, whew, you you want to just move on to the next page. So it describes one of these attacks where a guy swims out alone. He's feeling superior. Then, he's feeling great. He's swimming alone, no survival instincts at all, and he breaks out away from the group, and he just gets blitzed. And Capuzzo's discussing the sheer force that a great white shark has as it's coming out of the water and just essentially reverse dive bombing you. And he talks about this lady that's on the shoreline that starts screaming for help because she says, "Hey, the man in the red canoe needs some help. He's in trouble." And they get there, and the red canoe was literally this massive pool of blood that just spilling out from this guy from being attacked. And you read that, and it scares the hell out of you the next time you go to the beach. So, despite the fact that we're heading into the summer, I think it's a great book to read. For the content, definitely a 10 out of 10. It really, really teaches you about one of the scariest forms of nature, and that's a shark. So it really gives you respect for nature too. You go out into the water. That's not your water. That's not something that people have true dominion over. That thing is filled with all kinds of creatures that we only have a base understanding of. So I think it's a fantastic book. I found this at Barnes & Noble. I probably read it over 10 years ago. It still gives me a little tingling sensation of fear when I go into the water, with my family at the beach. But the book is Close to Shore by Michael Capuzzo. Go out and get yourself a copy. It is a fantastic book. Has my full recommendation. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.